Ganesh, thanks so much for joining us here at the virtual North Pole. We
Yeah.
appreciate your time on the program here.
All right. Yeah, it's really pleasure to connect with you again.
That's great. Well, Ganesh, the electronic medical record industry is very interesting because it's quite widespread in the United States,
Yep.
but it seems a bit more patchy throughout the rest of the world. Could you
Correct.
explain how the industry exists in India itself?
In India, is a typical case. This is also in nascent stage, specifically for small and medium hospitals where they are still maintaining a lot of records, manually, except for very few biggies, where they are having their own infrastructure and they are able to maintain the data electronically as well as manually. And it's going to be a challenge for small and medium hospital to graduate from the manual records to an electronical record, because it involves huge resources both in terms of time, money, and the resource need to upgrade themselves in terms of how to handle this application and record those clinical data. So it's definitely, barring few very big hospitals in India, a lot of hospitals are still maintaining the records manually. So we see a huge opportunity here, both in India as well as outside India.
So Ganesh, I've traveled and attended the All India Ophthalmological Conference since the early 2010s.
Yeah, yeah.
And stopping by many, many booths, I realized that I've never seen an electronic medical record vendor before. It's possible that they existed, but never really captured my attention like such exhibitors have in the United States.
Right.
Uh, why is this industry just coming into fruition at this time?
Because of the bodies. If you take India as a market, there is a body called NABH. Okay, so that is being controlled by a government. It's basically a government agency where they are trying to emphasize the need to maintain the patient records also in digital format, because with digital India movements now picking up across various sectors. Yes, NABH is also recommending every single hospital, where whoever has taken the accreditation from NABH, they are insisting the hospitals to maintain the patient records also in digital format. So that's where you are able to see the steam is picking up across the Indian market and also global market. Like India, there are many other markets where they are generally getting acquainted to keep all these patient records electronically also.
And at the end of the day, though, for physicians, what do you think the benefit will be once the digitization arrives?
Huge benefits, very huge benefits, in terms of accessing the previous diagnosis details and detection of diseases at a very early stage. So these are some of the few benefits that I see by maintaining, because the patient, whoever has come up 1 year before or 2 years before, absolutely there is no data that's been maintained by a small and medium hospital. Yes, large hospital, yes, they do maintain a huge rack of documents where they need to go back to those files and check what are the observations that were made, which doctor, what was the clinical data that was recorded.
We have heard about artificial intelligence
Yep.
helping to better empower diagnostics in India currently.
Correct.
And I would think that obviously that involves a lot of data. Is it possible to link up these electronic medical record systems with things like AI to make the overall diagnostic ability better?
Very much. So that's going to be the future.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence is going to be the future, where it helps in early diagnostics and the proper treatment based on the data that is being recorded today. So AI is definitely a future, and a lot of softwares are now gearing up to provide an AI based solution.
Right, because I can't imagine a world where we have these advanced solutions like AI and are harnessing all that data, but we're still working on a paper-based format for record keeping. It
Correct.
doesn't seem like the two mix very well.
Correct. So you're right. AI is going to definitely be the future, and EMR is going to be the future. With a lot of patients, records are now being converted electronically. I see a huge potential, and over and above, a cloud-based solution also give access to many other latest advancement, both in terms of technology and in terms of solution for small and big hospitals also, not just the bigger hospital.
So it sounds like if you're a healthcare provider and you're interested in innovation, EMR is really going to serve as the base of the pyramid for that. You're going to want to implement that in order to implement these other things, AI, telehealth, anything really having to do with data needs a foundation of being of
Correct.
having data electronically.
Correct. You need to have a base data that comes from the EMR. Whatever analysis you are going to do and whatever technology you are going to adopt, you need fundamentally you need a data to be electronically maintained for you to do a lot of analysis, and helps you in prediction.
Now, I think another issue in the U.S. would be that of privacy, and I'm sure there are a lot of healthcare, regulation going on there, which ensures this data, once it's digitized, is nonetheless private. What about other countries around the world? Are they also concerned with healthcare privacy, and does that impact EMR?
Every country has this problem of data privacy, not just US.
Yeah.
India, for that matter, yes, there are a lot of privacy issues happening. And African market, though they are underdeveloped, they still talk about privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not just a solution that they need. It is a solution to their satisfaction, what they are looking at, and satisfying them in all angle is the key for us to make inroads in any specific market.
If someone's interested in EMR, Ganesh, how can they get in touch with you in order to, what's the process like step by step in order to set up an EMR with you?
Okay, the first thing is once we get to have their inquiry, we will first do an online demonstration of this application. While we demonstrate, we will also understand what is currently being practiced at their end. Okay, and we understand the gap. So basically, the demo is basically a gap analysis in terms of what they are currently following, how we can help them or support them in terms of moving the data from a manual format to an electronic format. So that would be the first step in terms of making them aware how their data are being captured in the system and how we are maintaining those data in an electronic format. So once we are able to give them that insight, then we take few sample data from their side and show them this is how your data looks in our system. And once that is done, we give them access to our application on a trial basis in terms of making their staff use our application by giving them a short period training. Okay. And once the training is done and once they are able to key in their data in our system, then we go all out in terms of implementing across various departments and to various stakeholders. When I say stakeholders, the stakeholders starts right from the reception to the optometrist, to the ophthalmologist, to the laboratory person, to the pharmacist, to the optician. So there are a lot of stakeholders who are being a part of the system. So we will train them at every stage and help them learn our software and make use of our software and get the best benefit out of our software.
Well, Ganesh, thanks so much for joining us here today on the program.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you, Matt.
Thank you. We wish you happy holidays, a very happy new year.
Yeah.
And we look forward to hearing more about the spread of EMR throughout the world in 2021.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Matt. Thanks for your time, and I wish you, your family, a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.